Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all of the students. Thank you for listening to this video session. Okay, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Wani Shamuddin, and I'm going to teach you today on how to develop a basic cash flow model and also explaining some of the crucial or imperative elements within the cash flow model itself. Okay, let us look into the cash flow model. Okay, one of the important of cash flow model as to compare with the residual calculation is that it provides a more detailed calculation compared to residual method. In this context, cash flow model serves as a calculation to provide some of the information such as the net present value or the cash flow, and then we could also able to pinpoint the specific debt or costs that involved within the period of the development. And last but not least is the return on investment in the form of internal rate of return (IRR). So in this context, the cash flow model serves as a better calculation whereby it provides more information against the residual method. Okay, first you look into the Excel file that has been provided. Okay, one of the first step that we need to do to develop a cash flow model is the title itself. So the title indicate the subject property and also the location. So in this context, you need to put the title. So let us put the title such as this one, cash flow projected cash flow an exercise in XXX. Okay, probably you could also add in the types of development, projected cash flow of a 10-acre site located in Mukim for residential development. Okay, now, so these are our basic or our title for our basic cash flow. Okay, the next step would be to create the template. As far as concerned, within the template, you must put in the period of development. So period is depend on our cash flow, whether we want to put it as a quarterly period, half yearly period, monthly period. But in this case, we will use the quarterly period. Okay. Let us assume that we are using 2 years development period. Okay, first thing first, you must put period. And the second one is the amount. Okay, the third column would be quarter period. Since we are conducting development valuation, you must start your cash flow with period 1. So these are the quarter period 1. So let's say is our development period is 2 years. Therefore, our quarter would be 8 period. Okay, you type in 1, 2, 3, and then you could drag until quarter 8. Okay, done. Okay, and then this one, you could also merge cell, and you put year 1. Then you merge and center, you put year 2 for this merge cell, and we put table over here. Okay, done. Okay, the next element would be the cash inflow and cash outflow. So you may put the cash inflow over here. Okay, the item for cash inflow generally depends on the type of the project itself. Let's say your project is purpose-built office. So normally purpose-built office generate their income from rental and from, I think, from selling part of the lot and etc. So in this context, you may put the rental value over here. Okay, however, in this case, we are using example from residential development. Mostly the residential development generate their income from selling of the house. So therefore, cash inflow you could separate into two. First one is deposit. We call it as sales down payment. The second one would be sales final full payment. Then you will get the total cash inflow. Okay, done. So you could also fill the cell with color. So in this case, I will put yellow color. Okay, the next element would be the cash outflow. Cash outflow can be defined as the costs or items that you need to pay or expenses. So in this residential development, normally cash outflow will consist of items of the development such as preliminaries. For example, preliminaries is site preparation, we have facilities, we have title for what we call it as survey and subdivision, and then we have building construction costs, facilities, and we have marketing, sales and marketing. This is some of the construction costs that occurred for a residential project. So there are many other costs, but in this example, I only put the important or the sum of the costs. Okay, other than that, sales and marketing, we have contingencies, landscaping, contingencies, property management, project management. So these are all the items, some of the items within the cash outflow. Then we total up the cash outflow. Okay, done. Okay, the next step would be to develop or to generate the net cash flow element. This is the most important factors within the cash flow model. So where do we get the net cash flow? So net cash flow is the amount that we get when we deduct between the total cash outflow for each period with total cash outflow. So you have to deduct cash inflow, total cash inflow, and total cash outflow. And then you will get the net cash flow for each of the period. So the formula equal sign, pinpoint at total cash inflow, and then you minus total cash outflow. And then you can also drag the cell, so without having to key in formula for each cell. So the Excel function will generate for you. So once you get the net cash flow, you are going to use this amount to calculate the value for site using net terminal value, using period by period approach, and last but not least using the PBT, period by period, and using the DCF and PB approach. Okay, so let us look again our cash flow model. Okay, first you must have the title for the cash flow. Okay, the next one, you have to prepare the template or the table of cash flow. You must have the period items. You must have the total amount of each element, and then you should also develop or distribute the period of development according to quarterly. So let's say if our development is 8 period, so you have to if your development period is 2 years, then your quarter would be 8 quarters. And then you have to develop cash inflow, sales down payment, sales final full payment, and total cash inflow. Next would be cash outflow, consists of the element in construction. Element is in pre-construction, and also element in post-construction, such as sales and marketing. And then you total up total cash inflow for each period, and also total cash outflow for each period. Last but not least, you have to get the total of net cash flow for each of these period or quarter. So we would need to minus between total cash inflow for quarter and total cash outflow for quarter 1. So it is not as hard as it looks. So practice, make perfect, and then we'll see you again. Thank you.